ameweza, she's a free. Hakuna kitu ya free. Nagusa mimi kaliri. You know they love me for the life. Illuminati kumbe life. Unasema ni bangi kumbe life.
We do this out of all the way and you tuning into the Black Hot Fire Radio, and you're listening to
kama wifi anajua mziki dipi basi ni vipi ninagandishka tikiti uone vile kwa mic inachafua kikulacho ndio hapo inakusumbua tunajua ni bibi yako kimwanika tunaanua bidii jasho ndio ndingo tanunua otherwise piga kalesa na ikikumo unaweza jua twende lifestyle kuna wenye na babasha last time tulikata kuperform Naivasha ndani ya 110 na wapita kaza naska ni kwanga wanted lakini sasa wananitaka sinifania vile hit song imefanya msupata kunizalia swali kubwa najiuliza mimi nitalia tuwezi sema njuni hali ya na spend mapicha why bila filter kwa mimi na feature
yes man say what Andrew Roberts in Jamaican brother later reaching out to all the massive on the African continent and tuning into
you know I'm gonna love G. Shorty ameweza, she's a free. Hakuna kitu ya free. Nagusa mimi kaliri. You know they love me for the life. Illuminati kumbe life. Unasema ni bangi kumbe life. Top team in the big propellers. And the big image kwa dara. Nena club.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today on the Black Hot Friday. We're here on Black Hot Friday Network. Thank you so much, guys, on live on TikTok for joining us this beautiful afternoon, and also on YouTube, on StreamYard. Kindly download our app on Google Store, and also stream on www.blackhotfridaynetwork.com. Remember, you are the change you need to see in the world. And today we have an amazing guest who is with us today. I'm really excited to how we were supposed to have this podcast last week, but a little bit of collision. But right now, really excited to have a beautiful conversation in regards to the music industry and also his journey and also the ups and downs, the motivation in regards to music. And also I saw something really interesting in regards to the question that I'm going to ask, and let's see how this is going to be. But I'm happy to really have you over. I will let you introduce yourself, and let's have a beautiful podcast today. Thank you so much for being on Let's Pop with me, Ewoton.
How you doing? I'm ready.
You're ready? Thank you so much for joining. I'm really sorry last time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the time zones. I didn't know you're in Africa, right?
You thought I'm in the United States. Yeah, I'm in Africa, Nairobi, Kenya.
Right, that's cool. Yeah, I work with a lot of artists over there, so that's awesome.
Right, but thank you so much for availing yourself in regards to this podcast and Let's Pop with Ewoton. I saw something really interesting on your page, and also your Grammy-nominated producer. That's really beautiful. Charting. This is really, you've acted with different kind of people. I'd love us to have that conversation in regards to the number one, how you really view the music industry, the culture, how it's basically really portrayed, because I believe you work with a lot of different artists, and how the music is basically impacting this generation, because mostly here in Africa, we really kind of portray or imitate a lot that is being portrayed in the music industry in regards to the videos or what the people are singing. How do you speak on that? Because I know you work with a lot of artists.
Yeah. So do I think videos influence the music? That's what you're saying? It's like over there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, in the U.S., definitely there's definitely a visual. It does make you like, kind of get more into the music. I don't
Yeah.
think video is as big as it used to be back like in like the 90s, early 2000s. That's like when it like, and we used to have something called MTV, and it was just all music videos playing all the time. And I definitely felt like that had a huge influence. Not that it doesn't now. I definitely think that does, especially having that visual. But I
Right.
think, yeah, I think the industry is just always changing. You know what I mean? So it's like anybody now can make their own video. Like it's affordable. Like you can go get I forgot those cameras are called, but they're like $300. As
Right.
long as you have some basic editing skills, you could really make a visual. So I do like tell artists when I work with them, like, yeah, definitely if you have like a single you're trying to push, put a visual to it because yeah, it does draw a lot more people.
Hmm.
So definitely.
Right. Do you basically have I know a lot of producers really have a take. Some in regards to the artists that you're really close with or you've worked with for a long time,
Mhm.
do you have a take in regards to what they're showcasing or the kind of music they're putting out there?
Like, yeah, I mean, as far as like the type of music people are putting out now,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I definitely think Afrobeat has a huge influence right now. I notice a lot of
Okay.
artists I'm working with. They're like, yeah, like I want to do that Afrobeat sound, like, yeah, because I actually make Afrobeat too because I love it. Um,
Beautiful.
yeah, so I definitely think people are getting influenced by more like worldly sounds. You know,
Yeah.
I also feel like that there's a lot of influence from like almost like like the past always comes back around. You know what I mean? Like you're starting to see like people like come back to doing '90s hip hop, are taking some influence from that. Um, Even like dance music seems to like always just like kind of go to the past, and it's like I mean all I'm hearing is remixes now. It's like people are just taking old songs and they're kind of remaking them and making them a little bit more modern and stuff. So that's kind of what I'm seeing when I'm working with artists is they're just taking like a lot of influence from, either the past or just worldly sounds and stuff like that.
Right. I could take the part where you're talking about the fear of a lot of artists in regards to the rise of AI. You were talking something about that, and
Yeah.
you said that a lot of artists are really fearful. And also you talked about some music artists who've been really doing music. They don't have so much fear because people really need to hear the real like sound in regards to making beats and
Right.
producing the music. You talked about that in a short clip that I saw on your page.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like personally, I don't fear AI. I've never feared anything that comes in music because you have to adapt to it. But yeah, there's a lot of people I talk to that just fear it, like, oh, this is going to take over, and I almost feel like that's an excuse just to not do what you're supposed to do. And
Hmm.
I feel like even if AI does like just become like the monster it's supposed to be, you still don't have that human touch. You don't have the experience. You're never going to get experience from AI, right? Like like
Right.
you're talking to me right now. I've been in the music business for 20 years. Like you're not going to get that from AI. Or even like
Right.
the creative process. Like if there's no human touch, so even if you like you're an artist and let's say you go to some AI beat making machine or something, like
Yeah.
there's not that human element. There's not that music producer that can say, you know what, I feel like you should try this, or let's go with this type of sound, and kind of push
Hmm.
them. So if you have AI doing everything for you, you're never going to push your creative boundaries. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
like I said, we all use AI. Like even though it's like the new talk of the town, it's still we've always been using it. You know what I mean? Everything's been getting more and more like helping us do what we need to do. Even like with beat making, there's
Yeah.
programs that make these loops for you and stuff like that. That's kind of AI, right?
Right.
So I just you have to adapt to it and use it to your benefit because there are some good things that happen with AI. So especially like I hate writing emails like for my business. Like I don't hate it, but I have to do it a lot. So it's like I'm always trying to think of something like, okay, what am I going to write about today? And I can go to AI and be
Yeah.
like, all right, hey, give me some ideas on this topic, and then I can make it my own, right? So like I said, I've learned to adapt to it. I've always done that, even when everybody's like, oh, streaming is going to kill the music business. No one's going to make any more money, and like when people were stealing music,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you know what? We just have to adapt to it and figure out something new, right? So.
Hmm. Alrighty, thank you for that. I'm gonna also ask you very like dire question in regards to the music culture, and this is in regards to the African Americans people. I'm here in Nairobi, Kenya, and as I said earlier, there's a lot that we see in regards to the music industry, the lifestyle that is really being portrayed on the screens, and the young people here are like really going crazy on that. It's like that's the new style, that's the way to go about life.
Right.
But we see a lot that is being portrayed like in the African American culture or the Africans. It's like a lot of just bad habits in regards to just smoking or just gangs, and
Right.
like that's the new thing. So you've worked with different artists, hip hop artists that are really big in the industry, and this is like personal, like on your take. How What's your take on that? Like, because this is what the young people are seeing, and they think that's the way to go with in life. That's the right way to take. This is how it starts. It means like in a way, other people see like the African American people or the Africans. Let me say the Africans.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is how they are. They're like they are into gang or groups, or all they do is smoke and having cars and having
Yeah.
weapons. It's the thing, but that's not really it. Like there's more to Africans than that, and I think that also can really be portrayed in music videos than that lifestyle. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of that's fake. A lot of those guys. I'm not going to talk about anybody individually, but
Sure,
there's a
sure.
lot of that that's fake. It's just them trying to portray a life they don't live. You know what I mean? They're trying to say, "Oh, I got gangs behind me. I do drugs. I do this," and yeah, there is a lot of drug use, but that's not cool. Like I hate that people portray like as like that's the cool thing to do. Like that's how you die. You know what I'm saying? Especially they're putting so many things in all these drugs now that you could do it once and you're just gone. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
and I don't think it's just the hip hop culture. I think it's everyone too. I mean, there's all kinds of music where they're portraying that too. It's been happening like even with rock and roll since like the '60s, '70s, I mean, even before that, where people are portraying doing acid and all these different drugs and thinking it's like the cool thing to do. So, I mean, yes, that is there, but a lot of that stuff is not real. You know what I'm saying? It's just portrayed that it's supposed,
Right.
oh, this is cool, and I hate that it's pushed and it's a lot of the
Right.
younger generation. I
Yeah.
do work with the younger generation, but I also work with some of the cats that they're not like that. You know what I'm saying? They're like, they know that's stupid. They're like, what, I
Yeah.
was a kid once and I did this, but, um, yeah, but I would say to anybody who's watching all that stuff, like that's mostly
Yeah.
all fake stuff, and you don't need to do that, like to be anybody. Like that's if anything, it's going to make you worse. You know what I'm saying? So, because you know what I mean, it's like you see these people already have money, they're already doing this stuff, and you're like, oh, that's going to make me cool and make me like that too, and it's not. That's not how it is. And some of that too is fake too, where they have all these cars and stuff, and those are rentals. They're renting that stuff,
Mhm.
or the
Right.
jewelry is being rented, or it's fake. You know what I mean? So some people don't have the things that they show off. Put it that way.
Do you think there's organizational or corporation pushing that in regards to mostly, as I said earlier, it's like a lot of Africans or Africans American that are really pushed into these things.
Really?
Honestly.
No, I honestly would not even. I don't know if they would do that. They could, but
Mhm.
mostly I feel like organizations and corporate and stuff. They're trying to push a product. So I would think they
Okay.
are more pushing. Like if you see somebody like drinking energy drinks or something like that, I feel like they would be more behind that. I don't know if they'd really want to push drugs and stuff. They could, and I don't know. I mean, that would be a higher power. you know,
Right.
Somebody that's really trying to hurt a generation of people. Which would be horrible. You know what I'm saying?
That is so
But
true.
I definitely, yeah, there is push there, like as far as certain
Okay.
things. I don't know in that element, but like I said, I
Sure.
have no idea.
Yeah, and also, you wish as a an amazing Grammy nominated
Thank you.
producer. Yeah. Do you have like a group of people or young people, as you've said, you really work with a lot of young people that you're really empowering in regards to the culture in the music industry? Like, what's the right way to follow, or the train they should basically follow in regards to their growth in the music industry? What they should basically really sell out there? Because as I said earlier, mostly here in Africa, music, fashion,
Mhm.
a lot of people look up to the Western culture. You know,
Yeah,
it's really, really, really taking hit to it. That's what I can say. Like it's people really idolize these artists that we see.
it's an entertainment culture. That's just what it is. It's
Yeah.
really that's what it is. It's entertainment. You know, whatever is the
Mhm.
big thing, that's what everybody's going to flock to, right? Yeah.
Mhm. So
As
do
far as
you?
me, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, as far as me, I try to help the younger culture just like really actually get skills under their belt and know what to do in music. Like, if I even do this as a joke, I'm like, all right, are you gonna pay for your education? And I don't mean education like school. I mean education. It could be anything, like learn your craft or whatever. Or are you gonna buy those Jordans, right? And I'm like,
Right.
okay, so you got, and I give them the option. I'm like, you want to buy these $200 Jordans, or would you rather put $200 behind actually making yourself better as a music artist or producer or whatever you're trying to get into? That goes so much further. And yes, there's nothing wrong with buying the things you want. The things are cool or whatever, but why don't you get to the point where you're making so much money that it's like, okay, I can go buy myself some Jordans now. So I try to
Right.
teach the new culture of marketing, like how to market yourself. Like nobody thinks that. They think, oh, I just make good music, it's just gonna get out there somehow. And it's not like that. You know what I mean? Maybe back in the day, 30, 40
Yeah.
years ago, yeah, you could literally just walk to the back of a music studio and rap or sing for somebody, and they're gonna be like, oh, you're signed. Those days are kind of over. You have to, as an artist, be able to push yourself, make yourself in the spotlight. So that's kind of what I teach and show people, is how to, like, how do you market yourself, how, like, what are Facebook and Instagram ads, or how do I find the right audience for my sound, and how
Mhm.
do I get better at my music, like, even if
Right.
you're a rapper or singer, why not learn about production and engineering so you could actually better yourself, and you can actually communicate better with the people working for you, because then you're like, all right, hey, I know what that is, hey, add a little more 808 to this, or hey, can you put a little more high end in my vocal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the stuff I feel like is important, and to teach. I mean, not even just the young culture, everybody in music, because everybody has this pipe dream. They think they're just like, I'm the best in the world and I'm going to make it, and they don't know the first thing. And also learn the business, like understand what your publishing is and your royalties, and because that's the first thing that people are going to come after you for. If you don't know any better, they're going to say, hey, they're going to promise you the world and take everything from you, and they might even do anything for you, but you're still stuck without
Right.
owning any of your own music. So.
Right. Right. And also, as a producer, individually, do you think that like more people who are coming up, more artists that are coming up, um, they should definitely have a guideline, as you said, what you teach them in regards to the right way they should follow, and also they'll definitely sell the world to you, right? And you'll be like,
Yeah,
okay, this is what I want. It's the dream, like of the American dream, yada yada, yada, right?
right.
But that's not really the thing about it. Do you think that's basically a question to you? Do you think more dire issues should basically be portrayed on in music and entertainment, right? Which is not really happening. The things that are really happening on the ground,
Yeah, I mean,
like
it
very
definitely
serious
it
issues
definitely
that
should be,
really
yeah.
happening.
But also, you can find these things if people actually really want to know. All you have to do is research. You can find, I mean, everything from, like, TLC, like what they went through, how they got screwed over all that money. You know what I mean? Where everybody thought they had the biggest music and songs in the world, they had all this money. It's like they actually owed money because of
Right,
shady deals. So yeah, like I said, I think, yeah, it should be told to the world about how it is, but it is actually, if you research, you know what I mean? If you actually go look and find, because you always have to find negatives in every positive. Like, you should always be positive, but you should also find things. You should always play devil's advocate with yourself and be like, all right, this sounds too good to be true. Let me do some research. Even that manager, that person that comes up to a young artist or producer and says, hey, I want to sign you. I know Justin Bieber. I know this person. I know, young this, little this. And then you're already like, oh my gosh, this person knows everybody. I'm going to, like, jump in and sign with this person. If you just do a little research, maybe you can find something about that manager or something that, that's like, hey, this doesn't seem right. And also, you should get representation yourself before you even jump in anything. So. And I
right.
know a lot of people are
So,
doing that. They're not getting entertainment lawyers, and they're doing
yeah,
these deals. And it's like, man, you don't know anything about, like, what's in that. Even if you do have an understanding, those contracts are laid out to not be on your side, you know. So
Right. So basically, what you're saying, like a lot of people are really excited about whatever they're being sold to, but they don't really do a lot of research because it's actually not it. Whatever they think the
yeah,
the
or
content
they
might
don't
be.
want to know, or they don't want to know. It's like that person's like, I don't want to know, I don't want to know. Just let me do it, you know.
Right, which is very sad because they basically pay the consequences later. But I also want to talk about the challenges that you face in regards to your journey being a producer and also working with different artists. Maybe some have you ever had an artist with a very out of this world idea, which is like, I cannot work with that? Or you're always like, okay, cool, we could work with that. I could produce some. I also know you produce some bits. Have you ever had any very out of this world artists and they're like, no, I don't think I can really work with that.
Yeah, I've had lots of that. Now early on in my career, I just took on everything. I'm just like, you know what? I got to build my career. I'm gonna even if there's someone that's like just totally. I mean, I wouldn't ever do anything that's like gonna go against like what I believe in, of course. But sometimes you're gonna work with people that do some weird shit or what. Sorry, I don't know if I can swear. Uh, you're gonna get people
Sure,
that do
of
some.
course.
Oh, okay. I don't know. There's some people that do weird stuff and like, you know what I mean? Where you're just like, okay, they're just maybe a little weird, but you know, I could work with this. Um, I
Yeah.
had I've had artists basically come to my studio and start doing like cocaine and drugs and right in front of me, and I'm just like, I don't like that's not what I don't roll like that. That's not what I do. So there's this girl, I'm not gonna say her
Wow.
name, but she was kind of famous and started doing
Mhm.
this, and she started acting crazy, jumping around the studio, and there was just no like let's work on the music. It was just like I said, she was just like super high. At that time,
Yeah.
I pulled the plug. I was like, I can't do it. Like there's nothing gonna happen here, right? There's no music gonna be made. Even if there is, it's not gonna be a serious song. So I reached a point like now where I'm like I'm gonna pick and choose who I work with because if there's someone that like is I don't want to work with, I'm just not gonna do it. You know. Now,
Right.
early on in my career, like I said, I did a lot. I worked with everybody. I went through whatever I had to go through. You know, like I said, as long as it didn't go against my beliefs. But um,
Yeah.
yes, to answer your question, there is definitely times where I'm like, man, this is not going to work. You know.
Definitely. And in regards to people who are listening and joining us, also thank you guys for joining us here live on TikTok. Share this live, invite people to join in this conversation. I have Wishmaster, the producer. He's been Grammy nominated, so it's an amazing conversation here in regards to the challenges, the what is being portrayed in the music and entertainment culture. And also join us on YouTube, TikTok, StreamYard, Facebook, everywhere. We're having conversation comments in regards to the music industry with Wish the Mister, the amazing, amazing, amazing producer. Um,
Thank you.
and then we have a comment here, but I'm just gonna put that later. In regards to the inspiration, you being a producer, would you like to talk about that? What really inspired you to be a producer?
So I started off as a DJ. I'm originally from Chicago,
Oh, okay.
and it was like really big DJ city. You know what I mean? Like it's like that's where like house music came from. So I really grew up with a lot of stuff. My mom listened to like more Motown. She liked Whitney Houston, Temptations and stuff. So I got that side. And then my dad was more like the rock and roll guy who listened to like Rolling Stones, Beatles, and stuff like that. Even Bob Marley. So I got a mix of these different sounds, and I'm like, man, I really love this. So I thought the first thing, and I was actually into like hip hop too. So I like DJing. I was like, all right, I'm gonna learn how to DJ. So I picked up a couple of turntables, mixer, and I started teaching myself. And then it was super hard. I was like, man, I thought it was easy. It looked easy, right? But it was like super hard. And then I started networking with people, and I met this DJ. He was at one of the biggest radio stations in Chicago, and he kind of took me under his wing, and he started bringing me to parties and like house parties, and he brought me some clubs. So I got pretty good at it. I started making like mixtapes, like my own CDs, or not tapes, but CDs that I used to like sell and stuff like that, where I mix songs together. And then one day I was playing at this big club in Chicago, and I saw the reaction of people when I played a song, and I'm like, you know what? I want to be able to I want to be the person that creates this to get that reaction. You know what I'm saying? Like being a DJ is great, but I want to actually create the music. So that's when I decided I want to be a music producer, and I was really heavy into like Dr. Dre, Timberland,
Mhm.
Neptunes, um, Three Six Mafia. Like I love those type of beats. So I was like, that's really who I learned from. I started listening how they put their beats together. I started putting my beats together, and then eventually I started putting my stuff online for people to hear, and I ended up blowing up just by doing that because I sounded just like these guys. So I sounded like Timberland. I sounded like Dr. Dre, and
Yeah.
and then yeah, my name grew, and I ended up being one of the biggest online producers. And then I got
Hmm.
noticed by people in the industry just based off of that. So just some
Right.
kid making beats in his parents' basement, I ended up making a whole career out of it. So, yeah, that's how I got
Beautiful. Very motivating. So to anybody who's like looking to be a producer or basically somebody who's basically following their dream, I can say here in Africa, it can be a little bit harder here. I can say it's harder everywhere, but
Yeah,
I can say that it's not all about just waking up and definitely just, you're it. You have to
no,
take steps, put that work, literally learn some skills.
exactly. So back and this was when it first like online production wasn't like it wasn't everywhere. Like now it's everywhere, so it's a lot harder. So what I had to
Yeah.
do, so I stopped doing the online production stuff for like 7 8 years. And then because I was working in the industry, and then I'm like, why can't I do both, right? So I just started to go back, and I thought it was gonna be easy again, right? Or easier. And I
Mhm.
started putting beats on. I'm like, man, this is not working. Even though I was putting Grammy nominated, multi platinum producer, and I'm thinking, oh, it's just gonna sell a lot, and it didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still made money just because of my production, but it wasn't getting to a point where I'm like, man, I was happy to be online again. So I that's when I started to learn about marketing, and like you have to learn how to market yourself. You need to learn how to get yourself out there. And by me learning, and I took some courses actually to learn how to market. And once I did that, that's when I just like started growing big again online. And then of course now getting
Hmm.
noticed again by industry artists, and they're like, hey man, what have you been doing? I'm like, oh man, just putting my beats out there, and then they'll hit me up, and now I'm doing it again. I just did Tech Nine. I just did like probably more than half of his album that he's working on right now. I just did two of his singles. So,
Hmm.
but
Alrighty.
you have to, even as an artist, not just a producer, you should learn how to do marketing, how to market yourself, how to brand yourself. And that comes with
Right.
like email marketing, advertising, stuff like that.
Yeah. And see, we were talking about the AI right now, how AI is kind of making people really fear in regards to marketing and also putting their music out there. Do you think they really should? Because some people are using it and it's working for them. What's your take on that in regards to should they embrace it and still make more authentic beats, or they should just go with it? Because I'm basically saying it's actually being marketed on YouTube everywhere, just using AI and just going with it. Do you think it's a marketing strategy or can basically help out?
Yeah, I mean, you could use AI, but you have to still understand it, right? AI is only going to go so certain, like it's going to do what it thinks it needs to do, right? But if you're not
Yeah.
learning what it's doing, how are you going to get better at it, and how are you going to change it up? Like AI is used in Facebook advertising. Like that's what they do. Like their new AI thing is actually finding people that they think are going to do whatever you tell it to do. So if it's saying I want leads, it's going to help you find leads. If it's saying I just want people to watch my video, it's going to find people
Mhm.
more likely to watch your video. But if you're not understanding how that's working, how are you going to tweak things and make it work towards you to get whatever you need to get out of that system? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So yeah, I use
Yeah.
AI, like I said, for some stuff too, but I still have to, it's still good to have an understanding, you know what I mean? And
Yes.
you also have to like, AI might write you like your ad or whatever. Let's say they write your ad, they do your page. Let's say it doesn't work. What if it
Yeah.
doesn't, what if it doesn't change that? You might have to go in there and be like, all right, I need to change something here. That's why I always believe there has to be human element in something, you know what I mean? Especially in music, because it's like we're creative,
Yeah.
right? And then we have experience as well. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm not
I
against it. I'm not against people trying, yeah, use it. If it's helping you, especially if it's working, why would you not want to do it,
course, for sure, because it's working for some people. But I
Right.
definitely go back with what you've said right now. It's good to just have you want to very creative, and I feel like not. I feel like basically, we have ideas and amazing thoughts each and every second, which AI can not basically fit, you know. And also, let's talk about your vision, Wish. Your vision being a producer, your vision like being nominated as a Grammy nominated award producer. Let's talk about how the young people are looking up to you and how that makes you push to be better, or basically put your energy into creating that ecosystem for people to understand that it's possible also all over, even here in Africa, Kenya.
Yeah. So my approach when making music is just to be as creative as possible. And now I'm not saying don't follow trends, but don't bite music. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's I know it's a lot of people that try to copy things. Like, and that's something I do not do. I'll find something like, okay, if everybody's loving a sound, I'm not just going to steer away from it, but I'm going to find
Hmm.
myself within that sound, right? So when I create, I'll create, like, let's say trap or Afro beats doing really well. I'm not going to fight and not do Afrobeat. I'm going to make it, but I'm going to still add my element to that sound to, so I stick out as a music producer, right? So
Right.
that's how I approach things. Like, and I know a lot of people that make hits. They're like, oh yeah, I knew it. Like, yeah, you feel it, but you never know what people are gonna love. You never know what the world's gonna actually gravitate towards. Sometimes it's gonna be something that you might have made quickly that you're like, I don't know about this one, and then all of a sudden that ends up being a hit. Like that's especially as a producer. I'll go in a studio. I remember this. I was working with Nelly, and I would literally go to the studio, maybe play like 10 beats, and I had some that I worked on for hours, and I'm like, man, I know this is Nelly. I know he's gonna love this. And then I had some that I'm like, these are cool, but they're just ideas. It took me 5 minutes, right? He'll end up
Right.
skipping the ones that I worked my ass off of, and then he'll end up playing the one that's like I made in 5 minutes, and like, dude, that's it. And he'll loop it, and I'll make a whole song out of that. You know what I mean? Sometimes you
Yeah.
just never know. Um,
Right.
yeah, so that's how I approach things, and as a young people trying to come up in music, like really find your own sound, like really stick out. Because if you sound like everybody else, you're gonna get lost in the mix, you know. But if
Right.
you have a defined sound, something, it could even be a sound effect. It could be like a beep, you know what I mean, or something in the song that people are like, oh, I know that's that producer, right?
Yeah.
So I like to try
Yeah.
to find yourself with something that just sticks out, where people, are like, oh, okay, I know that's that person. I know a Timberland beat, I know a Dr. Dre beat, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but and sometimes you don't. Sometimes they might have a beat that sounds like something else. It happens, you know what I mean. But try
Definitely.
try try to find something that makes you stick out.
Yeah. That's really interesting, definitely, because nowadays, as you said earlier, it's all about the trends. People are trying to
Right.
be like everybody else, and this generation that is coming up, they really want fame so quick, as you've said about they're not putting in the work. Some are not putting in the work. They're not learning any skills in regards to growing themselves, being better at their skill, and basically finding a niche in regards to this is what I'm good at. I'm gonna focus on this. And I feel like if we have, because I believe we have a lot of people in the public or the public position, but they don't really talk about these things in regards to this is the way you should go, or they don't have people they're really kind of empowering or mentoring because they feel like they're it. And I feel like it's kind of really sad because a lot of young people are coming up looking up to these people in this position with whatever million followers, but they're trying to find, like, to just understand how you did it. And the fact that they don't really talk about it that much and always it's just their lifestyle and what they're living like and whatever they're going, but they don't talk about the ethics and the important things about what's happening or how the culture is. They don't really voice that out. And as these young people come out, they think it's all roses and pixels and rainbows to really find themselves in a very dire position when they get there. And it's really, really saddening because I feel like if we can have people who've been there,
Hmm.
walked in the culture, been around different kind of challenges, it's beautiful because it's like you're passing on your experience to benefit someone else. And that's, I feel like, the most fulfilling feeling that someone can really have, like you have had an impact on people's life. There's less impact and more cloud chasing, which is really sad because that's not about it by the end of the day. So yeah.
No, there's so much cloud chasing now. I mean, even with me, people are they're a lot of times instead of just saying like, "Hey, the music's dope," they'll say like, "Oh, you worked with this person, and this person." And it's like, okay, what about the music? You know what I mean? Like that. it should be about the music. You know what I mean? Those are just
Yeah.
bragging rights. That's just like saying, that gets me in the room, right? I say, oh, I've worked with this person, but here, this is the music. People are so
Mhm.
stuck on names and stuff now. It's like it's taken away from the creative, part of the music. And you're right. Yeah, people should tell about their journeys because like yeah, my journey was tough. Like I had to work my ass off to get where I was. I didn't just, I was making beats in my parents' basement for like hours and hours and hours. I was hitting up every single person I possibly could and trying to network and get my stuff
Mhm.
out there. And then I was trying to find a sound because it was hard I was learning from Timberland and Neptunes and Dr. Dre and I was making things. I'm like, all right, now I need to stick out so people say this is a Wishmaster beat, not a Timberland beat, right?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so yeah, you have to work hard and you have to just keep making music, like, and don't hold your music back either. I know a lot of people do
Right.
that too. They're like, they don't put it
Yes.
out there. It's like, if you don't put it out there, nobody's going to find it. Right. And then
Right.
if you think like, oh, I got to save this one for later, like by the time you're going to put that out, it's going to be dated. The
Hmm.
music it changes so much month by month or year by year that by the time you think you have a hit and you're holding it back, it might not be a hit anymore because it might have just been, like I said, it got dated to where it's like, that's not even the sound.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Alrighty, Wishmaster, really, really, really appreciate your time. But your last take or your last word in regards to all this, and basically, your social medias, you basically share with us. But I want you to like just say something motivating or something to someone who's listening to you.
Okay.
Maybe they'll never
I
get
just,
to hear from
yeah,
you. But
I would just tell anybody that wants to get into music that it is a tough road. But if you're passionate about it, you're gonna want to go through it. Make sure you educate yourself right off the bat. And like I'm telling you this journey about myself, and like I'm not telling you all the bad stuff I went through. Everything I'm telling you, I went through that. I got screwed over. I had hundreds of thousands of dollars stolen from me through
yeah,
record labels, management, whatever, because I did not educate myself. I thought my music was enough, and it wasn't. I didn't understand music publishing and royalties and stuff. So I would recommend anybody like start with it's a book or go on YouTube. You can go on YouTube too, but it's called a book called All You Need to Know About the Music Business. That's a good book to read. If not, go on to YouTube and just start searching, understanding the music business. You know what I mean? And really,
yeah,
because then when you go, you have more power, right? You understand it. You can have a conversation. Because if once somebody who knows what
hmm,
they're doing comes to you and tries to talk to you about this stuff, and you don't, they're going to take advantage of you, right? And then
yeah,
educate yourself on how to market yourself, how to brand yourself, how do you make it so people see your face and hear your music, right? Whether you're an artist or
hmm,
producer or whatever. So that's what I'm going to say is like, please, please, please educate yourself and just learn. And you should want to learn this because it's, I'm not telling you to go learn social studies and science and shit. Like that's different. I'm not telling you to go to, school and learn those. I'm telling you, learn about what you're doing, which is fun. It should be fun for you, right? Um,
yeah,
and, and always practice. Keep practicing what you're doing. You're never at your peak. All right. That's how I feel. That's why I keep going. I never, I'm always hungry. Like I'm always like trying to do something. I'm always telling myself, you're not where you want to be. Right. So
yeah,
that keeps me motivated. There's a lot of people that I've came up with in a rank that don't even do music anymore. They gave up or they figured, oh, I hit my peak. I'm done. Like I'm always working hard. I'm always trying to better myself. So
hmm,
that's a piece of advice I give you. I know it's probably long-winded. And it's probably like, man, I don't want to have to do all that. But if you're passionate about what you do, you're going to want to put the work towards it. Right.
hmm. Definitely agree with you 100%. And we have a question for you. Jiva Java, thank you for joining us. He's asking, does Wishmaster believe in the reparation for Black Americans?
Who
And
does
who
it?
profits from a 360 deal the most?
Do I believe in the 360 deals? Is that what was the question?
Yep. The
Uh,
first was, do you believe in the reparations for Black Americans?
I don't want to get into any. So I'd rather just stick with music stuff.
Okay.
You know, I just don't like to get into stuff. Sometimes things get misconstrued. I
Okay.
will say about the 360 deal, who benefits the most is
Yeah.
definitely the record label. um,
Okay.
and, and people ask me that they're like, well, why, should I not do that? And I said, well, I didn't say that. I didn't say not to do it. Look at where you're living right now. What are what are you working a job? Do you have enough
Yeah.
money to pay your bills? Is that
Hmm.
life even the 360 deal, even though that means that the artist has to pay everything, whatever they make is always there's a percentage going to the record label. Is that going to put you in a
Yeah.
better place than you are now financially, or the way you're living in your life? Is it gonna make you more, like, your name more known? You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
how I approach it, because a lot of people will say, "Oh no, I would never do a 360 deal. That's just stupid." Like, yeah, I understand that, but they might have had a different circumstance. They might have, yeah, I would tell you, if you can, do it independently first. Try to do
Yeah.
everything you can to blow up as an independent artist. But as far as, like,
Yeah.
if you're not in that position and you're offered a 360 deal and it's going to put you in a better place, why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
If that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah, for those who are listening and they're wondering what is a 360 deal, do you mind explaining that for them?
Yeah, so a 360 deal is basically, so it used to be a record label would sign an artist and then they would make money off their album sales, streaming of things of that nature. But
Mm-hmm.
now, because everything's changed, streaming doesn't, it doesn't pay as much as, like, selling. The physical albums don't sell anymore, right? We don't do physical albums. So record
Yeah.
labels don't make as much money, and they're putting, they put a lot of money into, like, an artist, like studio time, graphics, whatever, or, all the stuff
Mm-hmm.
that goes into that. So, and then even look at, like, 50 Cent. Like, a lot of people say, well, how
Yeah.
did 50 Cent, what made him his most money? Well, of course, it was, like, vitamin
Yeah.
water, right? So record labels started looking at, like, hey, this is like something, this is because of us, right? So then they started
Yeah.
something called a 360 deal, which means now they're going to take a piece of everything the artist does. You know what I mean? That's their way of saying, well, hey, it costs the same amount of money to put stuff out, but we're not getting as much in. So,
Right.
so it's like 360, everything, right? Everything around you, they're getting paid off of.
Right. Oh, that's something, really. But if it works for you, as you said earlier, like, definitely, why
Yeah,
not?
but you have to
And
look at your circumstances. Is it going to better your life or not?
for sure, because as you said earlier, if you know you have to pay bills, then you have bills to pay. You know,
Yeah.
you have to understand where you're at. And also, last question in regards to TikTok. Let me talk about TikTok. Do you agree on TikTok being banned as a music producer? Are you on TikTok actually?
I am. I don't use it like I should. I have followers on there. I hardly ever post on there, but I think, yeah, I definitely think it's a great thing for artists and producers. I mean, there's people that blow up just off of that. You know what I mean? Like, there's people that have gotten deals or songs with huge artists, or even, I remember that dude that did the Applebee's commercial. Like, he's like, he's an artist that has a lot of songs out now because of the TikTok. So yeah, I think that sucks. That does. For me personally, it's not going to hurt me, but to a lot of producers, artists, yeah, it's going to hurt, because that's, like, the trend thing. But also, is it going to help our music now not be just something that's quick and something easy and something catchy? Like, are we going to actually go make real good music? That's kind of like what I like about the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef, is because they're actually making really good music. Like, it's, like, super lyrical, and I think a lot of artists are starting to listen. Like, damn, like, these actually have a lot of content and lyrics are there. You know what I mean? So I think it might push a lot of artists to not have to just do. I'm not gonna. I don't want to put anybody down and say, like, that the new generation makes bad music, but I will say that, like, that's what I liked about hip hop music. I love the stories. I love the lyrics. I love Tupac because I can get into what he's talking about, and it just is really, really well put together songs.
Yeah.
So the TikTok ban, yeah, that sucks though. I know it's gonna be hard on a lot of people.
I definitely agree, and I feel like it's so many people are using it in a good way in regards to guys who have businesses, the producers, there are a lot of artists, and also there's always a two-way situation or separation in regards to anything. There are people who are going to use it in a very not good way, and there's some who basically use it to their benefit, and that's what's happening. But Instagram is not like that, but TikTok has really, it's actually affecting or itching a lot of people. They're like, it should be banned, it should not be banned. You cannot see that with Instagram, you cannot see that with Facebook
Well,
and
even
other
if it's
social.
banned, it's still people are just gonna move to another platform. That's just what it is.
Yeah,
Somebody will
yeah,
do something that TikTok does, and then they're just like, even Instagram, I know, is doing the I don't know what they call it, but they do the same thing. Like on TikTok, you can take somebody's music and you can, like, duet.
right.
They have
Yes,
their own version of that. So I mean, they're starting to, people are just going to move over to, like, Instagram or something and do the same thing they're doing on TikTok. People
or
aren't just going
another
to give up and not do anything.
So true, definitely. You can never give up in regards to anything. I
Right.
definitely agree. Or
You just get you
other
just move to
apple
the
does.
next thing.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
Okay, sure. Do you mind sharing your social medias and socials, and guys can really find you?
Yeah, definitely. You can hit me up on all social media. It's Wishmaster Beats. It's WYSH Master Beats. Um, or you can go to wishmasterbeats.com. So,
Mm-hmm. And also, you're an independent producer. You do not do. You're just independent,
yeah,
definitely.
like yeah, I do beats for everybody. Like, I do beats for big artists and I help independent artists. Like I have beats as low as like $24, you know what I'm saying? Because I try to help people as much as I can. I'm actually one of the originators of online beat licensing too. So I came up with
Mhm.
an idea to help artists be able to afford me because not everybody can afford to go to some paid 1,000, 2,000, whatever for a beat. So I made
Yeah.
it licensing, so you can license the music and still put it out there, make as much money as you want, and you're not killing your budget. So
Right, right. Okay. Well, thank you so much for this beautiful, beautiful conversation. Really appreciate your time. I'm really sorry about the last time. I know it was just a misunderstanding, but thank you for availing yourself this time. Hopefully, we'll definitely have another podcast with you. But I believe you've really educated a lot of people in regards to music and AI, and also pushing and learning skills, which has been such a miss in a lot of the young people, like learning skills, understanding their niche, and also how to go about it. And the fact that you talked about how they sell to you the American dream, and you don't even go through the contract, and you're like, "Yay! I think this is the best life, and I want to do this." But there are consequences. I believe we had to
yeah,
hear that. So I really, really appreciate you coming here on Let's Talk on the Black Hot Fire Radio Network, and hoping to have you over again, Wishmaster. Thank you
definitely.
so
Thanks for
much.
having me. I appreciate it. It was awesome.
Of course. Have a great morning. Is it morning there?
Yeah, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Yep.
Yeah, it's 3 p.m. over here. So have a good morning and enjoy your day.
All right, have a great afternoon. See ya.
Thank you so much. See ya. Thank you guys for joining us on this afternoon on Let's Pop with Ewoton. We had Wishmaster, the producer, in regards to talking about the effect of AI in the music industry and also how music is being portrayed, and basically his take on that and how what he's actually doing about it, and you as a producer, what impact is he really leaving in regards to what's being portrayed in the music industry. And we had Jeepa Jabber you say thanks for asking, I knew he'd stumble. And you also said hi General Mosquito, he dodged this reparation question. Typical. Jeepa Jabba, I just tuned in, I have no idea what is being discussed. General Mosquito saying they'll just move back to Facebook. That's pretty much obvious. When TikTok is banned, huh? Definitely. And you also said, I have a guest today. Is he Zungu? Yes, he was. I couldn't read that out loud. And also, Jiba Jabba saying, who is the most influential Black American performer? He said that he loved Tupac and 50 Cent and he loved their music in regards to that. That's what he said he loves doing. And yeah, so really guys, thank you so much for joining in on this beautiful beautiful conversation. I wanted to ask some questions, but I think he was dodging some questions because yeah, but that was Wish Match the producer talking about the music industry, the effect of AI in the music industry. And he said that we should not really fear AI. Are you there? Is that Keith? Hi Keith, how are you doing?
Oh shoot! I hit the wrong button, but I guess I am here. I was trying to go to Maria and them thing. Hey, what's up? How's your interview go? All right. Was that a white? What was that a white guy?
Yeah.
I should have known it, but I'm not gonna say nothing. Man, no, man. My son's a my son's a producer. My son's a
Yeah, he was.
producer. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
he was
son's
a
a pretty.
Oh, your
Yeah,
son is a
my
producer?
son's a pretty. Yeah, yeah, very famous producer.
Amazing.
That's gonna be that's not here nor there. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's not that's not here nor there though. That's not here nor there. So I didn't know. No wonder I was on the radio, Jim. I didn't. No, when he does the reparation question, I already
Yeah.
knew. I said
Yeah.
I already knew that this guy is a culture vulture. I already knew
Okay.
it. So he said, I like the Kendrick in the Mart. I like see that my son listens. He don't listen and call me out. And he was
Oh.
like, what the heck was
Oh.
this God? Yes, my
You're
son's a famous producer, here at God.
listening?
Yes,
Amazing.
yes,
Oh.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. Works for He's worked for Def Jam, works for all the major record labels. Yes, yes.
Yes.
What he does. So
Sorry.
I knew it. I know my son say, what's this culture vulture doing on there, Dan? I don't know. I don't know who he was. But anyway, um,
Oh my goodness. I just asked
I
him a question. I wanted to ask him
yeah.
about
No,
I asked him about his view on how the African American or the music is being portrayed, like it's all about gangs and drags and all these bad things. I just asked him about his take on that, you know?
yeah, but
As a
I knew he was like he's gonna tell you no because he's not let's see see white people eat off our culture every time. They don't want to give back for shit that they stole. He didn't want
right.
to say everybody didn't want to say nothing about reparations because that's black. And most black would tell you, yeah, you're supposed to give
Yeah.
it back because you got free labor from us. He
Mhm.
tell you no because he wants to say no. The answer you got from him is no, but he can't
Yeah.
really say it because he eats off black culture and he's scared that they'll
Right.
cancel his ass. So he can't say that. So he's saying everybody said no. I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't want to get in trouble. Because his answer is no. See,
Yeah.
you always know who they are and what they are. But
Yeah. Yeah, that's so right.
but anyway, it was a, I mean, it's your interview, so I'm not telling you not to do it. You know, tell me people you are, but I will go.
Hmm.
I know my son listens from time to time. I'm
Yeah.
popping in. That ain't my interview. It's Ewoton's interview, son, not mine. So don't go. don't hit me with the
Yeah.
colonizer thing. Um,
Gosh.
don't don't hit me with the
Right.
colonizer. Yeah, these guys eat
Right.
up our culture. They eat up our culture. But he's
Mhm.
talking about the Kendrick and Drake thing, which is true. He's talking about the
Mhm.
lyrical, it being more lyrical. That's from Kendrick's side. Understand the artist. Drake is not a real artist. He's an industry plant. That's what's being exposed. I was telling Shamani yesterday that
Mhm.
it's not really a rap battle. This is defining our culture again and taking it back. So
Right.
that's what's happening with this Kendrick thing, and it's gone global. It's gone global
Right.
because Africans always push African American. We always push the culture. So it's just defining, taking it back, and that's
Yeah.
what's happening. And so he would be pushed out too as a white man. He'd be pushed out
Right.
too. Sorry, he'd be pushed the fuck out too. Get your ass out of here. So, he I'm gonna tell you, I'm just keeping it real with you. You don't know the guy. Keeping it real.
Right. Of course.
Keeping it real.
Of course.
That's what that's about. He didn't put that's that's what that beat. It's not a beat. It's
Hmm.
it's a tearing down of phoniness and bringing it back to its originality. See,
Hmm.
hip hop has been taken over by people that are not people like him. Been taken over by non-black people, and we're saying no more. Because
Right.
now you got
Right.
people, but he was honest about the rap industry now for the last 20 years has been has specifically had people as stars who can't really rap, who are not lyrical, who are morons, Morons make, as my son likes to say, morons with good beats.
Mhm.
Like my son said, I give you a good beat. This stuff is trash, Dad. I know it's trash, son. This shit is trash, but hell, they pay me to make the beat, so I make them. I got to make my living. So
Mhm.
um, the Kendrick thing, this rap has been hijacked by non-black people pushing
Mhm.
garbage out there to black people. That's what you call the images of black people being thugs and drinking
Yeah.
and drugging. I never drunk in my
Yeah.
life. Never did one drug in my life. So how's that the image of us
Mm.
as black people?
Yeah.
Because we
Yeah.
don't own the images anymore. We don't own it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's been it
Mm.
had been taken over. But yeah. So when you did ask that gibber, I knew. I said, yeah. I was just on the radio, so you
Oh, you were
probably,
listening to
but
it?
yeah, I was listening. I was on the radio. I didn't see his
Right.
face. I was on the radio. I was listening. So I was listening. Yeah, that's why I kept out. I was listening. I was driving. I was listening. I said, okay, it's a pretty good interview. I said, 'cause I was going. 'Cause I wanted to
Mhm.
see. I want to know was he white or not by listening. I said, this sound like a cracker. I'm, I'm
Of course.
listening. Oh,
Hap-
especially when I heard you read Jimmy Jabba's comment about the reparations. How do you feel about reparations for Black
Yeah.
Americans? Any black person, yeah, it's past due. Like I don't want to talk about that. I
Yeah.
don't want to get involved in that. I said, that's a cracker. I got it. I
Mhm.
got it. It's a white. It's a white dude. It's a white dude.
Oh, right.
Yeah, yeah, I got that from that.
All
That's how I know.
right.
I said, oh, that's why I came up. I said, oh, this is a white guy. This is a white. This a culture
Yeah.
vulture. Oh man, get out of here. Come
Mhm.
go to Wishmaster Beats, family. If you're black, you know not to go to Wishmaster Beats and get no beat.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna
Why?
keep it. Nah, because black people define the culture. Eric, we don't go to white people to give us beats on
Right.
our own culture. That's why. That's why. That's why.
Right.
We
Right.
created it. We invented it. So I'm not going to somebody white to get something I invented. Why the hell would I do that? If I'm going to eat bad white cooking, then I'll go to white people to get it. If I want some bad white
Mhm.
cooking, I'll go to them to go get. Can you show me how to make some shit that's nasty? So I go to white people and they give it to me. Why am I gonna go to somebody? Why am I gonna go to somebody? I'm gonna go somebody white. I'm gonna go somebody white to give me back my own culture. You crazy? That I created, that I made. I'm not going to you to
Yeah,
get
that is
shit that I made. I made it.
right.
You didn't. So why the hell would I be going to you to get it?
Mhm.
Crazy. I'm gonna go to you to get some damn beats that I created. No, give me some beats that you. If I'm gonna do some white culture, okay, I'll go get your beats. Ever some white shit that you did, cool. But you can't come copy us and then make money off of us. No, the answer is absolutely not. I'm breaking up. I'm breaking up. Ask him. You should have asked him, did he get mad about Beyonce? No, but he's in our culture too much now. They got mad. White people got mad for Beyonce just doing country music. See how crazy
Yeah.
they went?
Yeah, that is
Ah,
true.
there they go. And they didn't even make it. Country music made by us too. Made by black Americans. We make country music. They didn't make it. But they feeling stairs now. They don't want us even in it no more. Because we did give it away to them. They don't even want us in it. But they want to be all up in our shit. That Beyonce does country music. She's the devil now. She's the devil. Oh, there this black bitch does our country music. Oh, cracker, it ain't yours. Black people created that.
Yeah.
African Americans created that. We just gave it to you. We, we created it and walked away from it. So it ain't even yours. But a lot of y'all didn't know that. So go back and check your history. All crazy about black people doing music. But he wants to come to our culture, but doesn't want anything to do with our struggle, jibber jabber. I don't want to talk about the reparations. I just want to make money off you niggas. I want to make money off you niggas. That's right. But that's nothing to do with you.
Why? I think Kate is cutting off. But thank you guys
Make
for joining
money
us.
off you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Thank you. I should end the show and basically continue talking. Thank you, Jiba Jabba, Mosquito. Thank you for joining Let's Pop or talking about the effect of AI in the music industry and how that is portrayed here in Africa. You're saying Jiba Jabba reasons. Go to the source. Ewoton. I was gonna use the word, but I knew you might not know what that was, so I used Mzungu instead. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much. Funny comments here. Oh my gosh.
When I was listening, guys, can you guys hear me? I know I'm breaking up. When I was listening, I said, "Is this a coon?" I said, "If this is a black guy, this is a coon ass nigga. This is a coon." But when Ewoton read that reparations question, I said, "Nah, this is a cracker. This is a cracker here. This is a cracker. He's not a coon. This is a cracker. He's even worse than a coon. This is a cracker." See, they wanna live your culture. They don't want to fight for your rights. They don't want to fight for your dignity as black people. They want to piggyback off your culture and exploit it, but they do not want to. They do not want to help you with getting a oppression off your back because it benefits them. So Dre, if you was listening, I already came in. Don't write me no stupid shit. don't write me about some fake white producer. Don't write me. I'm cool. Don't write me nothing.
Alrighty, guys, that was it with me. Let's hope with Ewoton. It's been amazing on the effect of AI.
Hey, you mosquito, you watch Sesame Street? Yeah, Ewoton's like that guy on Sesame Street when he was a kid. See, probably anybody white you'll find, even in a trash can. Right? Everybody white.
Shit.
Everybody white you find. And
all right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on Let's Talk with Ewoton. Same time on Friday, we'll have a beautiful conversation, a very debatable conversation. Kindly join us here. We're coming back to Bonga. Join us on TikTok, on YouTube. Download our app on Google. Remember, you are the change you need to see in the world. Remember, put in the hard work if you want to be or want to start doing music. Skill Wishmaster was here. You can check him out on social media. Beautiful producer. Check him out. Listen to this conversation later on YouTube, and basically you can give us a comment. Thank you so much, kids, for joining on this and listening in.
I joined late. No, I'm good. I'm not gonna come in and I'll just come in just to say, okay, that's a white dude. I knew it. I had to come in and I had to cover my own ass. Because my son, if he would have said, would start talking shit to me. I don't need no drama.
Alrighty. He was right then.
No. I'm saying I don't know if he was listening or not. If he would. I knew he was white because I heard him say he said about reparations and all kind of ambiguous stuff. Like, okay, this guy, because obviously he's a coon. You don't know what the word coon means, do you, Ewoton, yet? You don't know what a coon is yet, right? Coon.
What does it mean?
Coon is Coon is a black guy trying to be white and works for white people. At the
Oh,
disparaging at at that disparages black people for white people. Okay, that's a
right,
coon. So I was
right,
figuring when I was listening to him, he's either a coon or he's white. I wasn't sure yet. So this guy's either a coon, that means a black guy, but he's a coon, or
right.
or he's white. And then when Jibba Jabba asked that question, I said, "This is a white guy on the radio." So I didn't know. I was on the radio. I was on the
All
radio.
right, right.
And if you guys listen to his
Mm-hmm.
vernacular, how he speaks, he's been around a lot of black people, and his
That is true.
caged his vocabulary to sound black.
Mm,
'Cause I couldn't tell
right,
on the radio whether he was black or white. I couldn't tell
right,
until but
right.
I said, I said,
And then
I'm
again.
listening to you, Jack. Be good.
All righty, but that's
A
the end of
coconut.
Let's Pop.
Yeah. That's right. A coconut. That's right. White on the inside, black on the out. That's what a coon is. A coconut.
Ooh, thank you, General Mosquito. I get it now.
I
Thank you for
wasn't
the
sure he was.
education.
I wasn't sure if he was a coconut yet. Yeah, I said he's a coconut or he's a white guy, but I wasn't sure. He's one of them.
Mm.
He's one of them.
Okay. Shout out to your head.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if he's listening.
Okay.
I was saying just in case every time. I didn't want to
Yeah.
come write. I don't want no goopy messages. Don't write me nothing.
Okay.
I,
Okay. See you
that's
later. Okay.
okay,
Thank
guys.
you.
Much love.
Okay. Bye. Much love.
White
Bye,
guy in our
guys.
damn white guys in our damn thing from producing. What about reparation? Oh, I don't want to talk about that because he don't agree with the family. Told you, these white crackers don't agree with